Whoa there, Speed Demons. Welcome back to Half Minute Hero: The Second Coming. This time around, we're going to start up the fourth chapter of the game, which is Hero 30 Ragnarok. Of course, with a new chapter comes a new hero, and this time around we're playing Yuja. Yuja's more of a polearms expert as compared to the last two. You know, Yusha was more into swords, and Yushia had her bowgun swords as well. But Yuja, he's a bit of a departure from the last couple of heroes we played as, because, well, when we find him, he's already in the middle of fighting with the Time Goddess. So that's neat. It's nice that there's some unmentioned background here, that they've already been fighting this. Not to mention, we already get the hero castle. And so with Hero Castle back in our hands, we can go ahead and take care of some of these big monsters and continue working on that little quest to go ahead and kill 30 monsters, which should be easy, right? I got a little turned around there because I wanted to go ahead and head to the north and grab this old guy's medicine, but I didn't commit one way or the other. Also, this medicine, cough get better. That is some excellently named medicine. I gotta say, this chapter, out of all the heroes, I probably like Yuja the best, and this chapter has some of the best music in the game. This track right here, I feel like it's pretty rocking. Now, we got 30 monsters down, but the truth is, I'm gonna keep killing them for more for longer, because there is a title behind it. Cough get better. Yeah, that's fantastic. I love it. So yeah, the hint you would get for this title is that, well, even while you're running around smacking monsters off the field, you're still getting these little pop-ups for, 40 monsters, and it goes on like that for every increment of 10 you hit. So you'll see 50, 60, etc. And I could have saved this for the title roundup, but I didn't. Still, it is worth noting that it looks like we've made another 200-year jump. You know, Yusha's story happened in Goddess Era 600, Yushia was in Goddess Era 800, and now we're in Goddess Era 999. I wonder if anything special happened at Goddess Era 1000. Nah. Not to celebrate the millennium. And so with 100 monsters down, we get the Mighty Warrior title, and we're clear to go ahead and take care of this god. Man, Knight's getting dumped on even harder than usual. So, we do have access to all of the equipment that the previous heroes had, but, well, truthfully, most of it won't be too useful. Yuja can't wear most of Yushia's clothes because, well, Yushia's a girl. obviously. As far as weaponry goes, everything still applies. But now that we've gotten some more a new weapon category, we can do a whole lot more weapon crafting in this chapter. Right now, the War God Staff +1 is going to be our best weapon for a while, and honestly, it's still some of the in-game weapons we had from the last chapter are still comparable. Omega, for example, is still a really darn good bowgun sword. Even so, we can put on some different equipment. For instance, the Rainbow Shield is still a pretty darn good shield. Clothing-wise, well, this stuff's just going to get outclassed pretty quickly, but for now we can go ahead and keep wearing it. The battle boots are probably the best footwear we're going to have for the time being, so it's a bit like it's a bit like an MMO expansion. As soon as you get to the new place, all the in-game equipment you had suddenly gets outclassed very quickly. Despite Yuja's hopes, God Rameses really is a gigantic pushover. So, the main thrust of this quest is not going to be defeating the god. I actually recommend first things first, you may want to go ahead and grind up some gold here, just because, well, once it gets closer to the end, if you haven't been using these first 30 seconds wisely, it'll get a little tight. But all you have to do is go beat up God Rameses, and then, well, something special will happen. Yes, the time goddess just rewound time so that we could go back and beat up Rameses even better. So it sounds like if we want to become Spearman, we have to play cook for a little while. So the fishing is a little bit, it's a little bit weird. What you have to do is you have to wait down here until bubbles pop up on either the left or right of you, but I can't really tell what it takes to make the bubbles pop up. And I'm really impatient. Sometimes it seems like I have to rewind time in order to get the bubbles to pop up, and that's it's frustrating. I keep wondering if I'm missing something here. I know fishing takes patience, but man, I don't have that kind of time or money. And of course, if you throw it in the wrong spot, well, nothing happens. So you do have to wait on the bubbles, such as right there. Then you have to mash for your life. There is a title for not throwing the lure towards a, well, only throwing it on the bubbles, so missed out on that one, but I'll get it later, I'm sure. So now we have to break down some dead trees and, well, grill a squid. Should be easy, right? Oh my god, it's still alive. I think we fixed that. I know that lobsters get really red when you boil them, but I don't think squids are supposed to be that red. No, that fixed it. So now that we're officially a Spearman, the class will increase both the damage done and your speed, at the expense of some defense and some. I think it costs some HP as well. Spearman's a really good class. And so by taking out and grilling a squid, we can actually head over to this fork on the left, which is a global dungeon I skipped over to start with because, well, we wouldn't have been able to get in the front door. But after doing the little squid grilling, now we can get in and loot the place. It does have a couple goodies for us. There's an herb. There is a new shield, which is it's made of, what was it, duraluminum? Duralumin, there you go. And then there's one more thing worth grabbing in here, and it is the key to the next global dungeon. You know, because you can't just skip over global dungeons. That'd be terrible. With the rusted key in hand and this global dungeon cleaned out, it's time to keep moving on. That being said, the spear that we have in hand right now is something we've needed for a good couple weapon crafting recipes. So it's nice to see we're finally getting those out of the way. Still, it's also worth mentioning this next mission coming up, in case you're one of the people that really wants to grind up your skills, the next mission is actually pretty fantastic for it for a good while. So, that's worthwhile. See, because this next mission has a very high HP enemy who has a lot of defense and does very little damage. So you can just continually attack him over and over again, and yep, wood stick is still worthless. It's a wooden stick. What do you expect? But yeah, so these enemies have high HP, high defense, and low damage, so you can just keep throwing yourself against them and grinding out those skills. I don't think I'm okay with anybody that attacks singers. These gods are gonna have to go down. Nice to see that even 400 years later, the singers are still putting in work. Sailor suit. For men. Huh. So the gimmick for this map is that you have to have certain classes equipped in order to get, well, everything you can out of the map. This trident is a pretty strong weapon, and it's definitely worth coming up here to grab it. The monsters here aren't really too much worth talking about because, well, all the grinding I did to get through the Temple of Time at the end of Revolution overleveled me a little bit. But taking out this big monster with the Hero Castle will get you a title, so that's worth doing. The Big Killer. At this point, I should, I'm out of time. I've had tighter squeezes. I have gotten to the goddess statue with 1/100th of a second left before, so that was neat. Anyway, we've taken care of the Spearman path, so let's go ahead and take a look at the bottom fighter path. And so we have a new axe. The axe has a special attack called Drain Axe, which will do some damage and then recover your health a bit. So that's super handy. But there is one more thing to grab. Or one more class to go through, I should say. We'll swap over to the mage and then we'll hop in here real quick. The monsters in here, not the trees, but the lizard you can see on the right, those are the ones that's really good to grind skills on. They have a super gigantic weakness to the ice rod, so one cast of the skill will pretty much do them in, but everything else, they just sit there and take it. So as long as you're still below level 45, I'd say maybe level 40 or so, you can definitely grind out your skills quite a bit on this map. Of course, that's not really necessary, but it's something fun to do, right? Time Goddess wasn't falling over herself at the thought of that much money. There must be something seriously wrong. That's it for now. Please join me next time.